First, I would like you to think about the various forms of a good person who stands firm for true morality, and what he would be like as he's trying to be courteous, polite, and gracious. Now let's realize and understand that they slow down my videos and use drugs, psychology, and technology to confuse you. But that isn't enough, now is it? You have plenty examples of videos where, like this one, I'm speaking in a way that shows a higher understanding of human nature in my audience and an awareness, right? A certain perception, focus. I'm keen, astute, I'm sharp. Granted, they've reduced my form and made my muscles kind of soft, so it's harder for me to do these kind of focused movements that would convey a martial arts, grace. But what you're seeing is a reduction from a great martial art form that still shows you what's left of a great martial artist, to the point where you'd be an idiot not to see that I'm right. Especially when I highlight time and time again what it is you're seeing and why. How could it be any other way? For this reason, among others, if a person doesn't believe me, then that person is hopelessly evil and out of touch. How could you not perceive good in its most obvious form in society? Even now, as a sabotage hero, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, what I'm complaining about, how I've presented who I am, and how it must be the case. Everything lines up to a T, to an A, really, showing you, and it shows you that I'm who I say that I am, and that I'm the good guy that you should listen to and trust. If people can't perceive that in people, right? Why is that? Why can't a snake fly? Why can't a fish run around like a cheetah? Okay, we must understand that that is who they are. It's not just the form that they're taking at the moment. That is who they are. They're in the repetition of they don't know to follow the good man. It has to do with false pride. Where do you draw the line? With your family that's doing the wrong thing and on the trajectory of doing the wrong thing? You can't say, well, you're also a victim, like the indigenous people, a lot of great people, a lot of decent people, historically at least. Now we're in a very dark time. Okay, when we look at this, okay, some of them owned slaves. So were they always correct? Is it enough to be the victim and you can do whatever you want? No. You have to understand these things. These are truths that are truly self-evident. Nobody else has come into the Spirit of God in the history of the world but those that obey the family line, the spiritual line that has been passed from father to son. It is apparent, right? Ending with the age of the father. When a father gets too old to perform his duties anymore, it passes on to his son. Spiritually speaking, my father has passed it on to me for quite some time now. However, because this world allows for people to be somewhat dead inside, if not completely dead inside, and to keep doing their jobs, he's still capable of doing his job. I analyze other people and searched the spirit of the world with God's guidance and found that no one else had the capability to connect to God or bring in a descendant that could. Through sparring with them, through understanding the martial art principles and looking at people. Some people are just too simple-minded, and if I trained them their whole lives, they would never be able to connect to God by themselves, but certainly they could receive the Spirit. This is painfully obvious to me, and I would go as far as to say I'd expect it for it to be fairly obvious to other people as well. Sparring, barriers, and the animal selves being all they are made of made this obvious. On top of my spirit search, mentally, when I use reason and I ask other people's opinions and I see what they say and how they don't have a viable counter-argument, okay, it is obvious that they are all relatively fools that are incapable of using a sound moral scale as their forefathers were, with all due respect. Okay. Your forefathers owned slaves and you still own slaves, and you come from a long line of people who have enslaved people unfairly, to make it a clear-cut example. Okay, certainly the correct thing to do is saying you are wrong, so were your forefathers, And you are fools for not seeing that this is obviously wrong. That is the right thing for me to do. Okay. We consider apparent, right? A, alpha parent. We consider action, right? We consider the word whore, hooray, the E, not the A, not raw, the core. People who are trying to beat around the bush and not get to the point of life, the point of the pyramid, the point that God has made and impressed upon man, and in a way that anyone who is truly receptive to true morality and truth understands that they must obey. And they must obey the Ebo, not those who have turned against them, right? They must obey the last man, Ebo. It ends with me. Okay. False pride also is a play on words for fail to see, right? Fail, see, right? Break the word up, use phonetic sounds. They failed to see the P ride, right? The phallic, the penis, right? Who is riding the wave of the worldly sex cults, rape by illusion-based energy, and who's in the true spirit of God? So this false pride has doomed them, and it also includes their sex lives. They breed in a way that animals do. Animals have a certain affection for each other. Are they connecting to God and conveying the true spirit of God as higher life forms capable of higher thought? No. They are just in the worldly energy of nature, and they can be very affectionate and loving. Think of, quote unquote, loving. Think of the cat as it rubs against your leg, right? Think of it how it comes to you when you're sleeping at night and wants to sleep with you, right? This is not love. This is worldly affection. It must be separated from the intense marshaling force of God as expressed through the top martial artist when he starts to marshal things, right? That's when you can perceive it. If you can't perceive it already, right, then certainly you can perceive it through the martial arts. So if you could perceive it on your own, you would know that you must obey and that it is not doable for them to snake me and to then connect to God by themselves. For whose children are they doing this? The children of those who have screened out and betrayed the blameless one? For those who have defied God? Why should God allow them to have the Spirit when they have betrayed God? And when their forefathers betrayed God and didn't allow me to have children that I raised myself in the Spirit? Certainly this is not ordering. This is not ordering on behalf of God or arranging. This is doing it on behalf of that animal rape by illusion-based energy. Okay? They have just animal nature. What do they have sex for? Evil. Not balancing their soul with good and good. They're not accepting the true order of God and marshaling God's world together. They are having sex in this kind of rape called animal energy. Okay. To make themselves feel good while they're being evil, and a female, whether she knows better or not, is being evil by going along with it. Okay. And certainly they're not bringing in a child of God this way. You know, why should we expect that a child of God is born when two people doing the wrong thing are having sex for the wrong reasons and embracing and enjoying themselves in a world of ill-gotten gains that they achieved by screening out the righteous and stealing the women that would have otherwise gone to them, etc. Right? Certainly, these are the children of the devil. And he's right there in the word seal, right? C-all, C-L, right? They're L. It takes a sicko to enjoy themselves when they're doing something that is so obviously evil. They're enjoying the fruits, the forbidden fruit, if you will, the fruits of the righteous man's labor with the intention of bringing in a world of God, not so that the betrayers can indulge in these things, right? It is forbidden fruit in that sense. All others, but those in the divine order that ends with me, are hopelessly L, right? And gene manipulation makes it worse as well. We get the word hell and L. H is the fence, right? It's a fence, right? You know, it's how a fence is. It's a symbol for a fence. And they're fencing in the L. All the mentally ill that are breeding the wrong way are populating the world with mentally ill people who are doing the wrong thing and have the nerve to enjoy themselves. And if they weren't enjoying themselves, why are they living? You know, what's the point of living just to be evil and not to enjoy yourself? Or you're living to enjoy yourself with evil. Either way, it's evil. What are you doing, right? They're ill. All females are controlled by evil with an extreme emphasis on the attractive female. Okay? There's an extreme emphasis on controlling them. Do these women naturally gravitate toward me and seek to obey and concede my point? Or is the scale false? Mayat represents the scale of the worldly mate as I've seen it explained. And the earliest example of this was something like 2500 BC or something like this, right? Somewhere around that time, according to some of the sites I came across. And their explanation shows that they don't understand. The true feather is the falcon feather, the son of Ra, not the Khan feather, not the Min chemistry, technology, trickery, illusion feather, not some magic card feather, but the true feather of marshaling the order of God with the true spirit of God. Okay, and that feather is first and foremost referring to the core, the point. The point is for the most worthy person to marshal the order. And if that person is prevented from reproducing, then you miss the point. You can't betray him and benefit from his betrayal and connect to God. You don't have God's permission to do it. You don't have this guy's permission to do it. It's really that simple. So when you look at it, what needs to be done is they need to obey the righteous, not the evil. You can't be serving evil and just magically stumble on to righteousness, whether you're doing it over generations or in your lifetime. Okay, it doesn't work like that. You are the betrayers, You betray, right? Diet and deity, ear, okay? You are the betrayers of the righteous one. And again, they slow down my videos and use drugs, psychology, and technology to confuse you. But if a person doesn't believe me, then that person is hopelessly evil and out of touch. Okay, and that's why sparring is about outmaneuvering somebody and then striking them effectively. Okay, it doesn't take a genius to see that I'm right. So when you look at the overwhelming amount of evidence, right, doing martial arts for all these years as a brain-searching son, you see these pictures I'm going to put at the end where I made it obvious with the other pictures I've attached on top of these pictures: maneuverability, intelligence, the stick fighting, tatib, getting to the bottom of it by the use of the stick. Before I even came across this explanation, my martial arts challenge was already out there. Surely, if I had come across this explanation before, I would have brought it up with the beginning of my sparring challenge. It's getting to the bottom of it by seeing who can outmaneuver who and strike. Okay, I can get around the maneuvers that this world has put before me, whether they come in the forms of humans or animals or whatever, and I can get to the point. Okay, if people all get together to drug me and cheat me, that means nothing. Okay, that just means that mankind is refusing to be led. This is to determine the leader. The top martial arts is the natural alpha leader of man. Okay, and if man all rebels, then they're sealed in hell with the mentally ill, and they're handing their children over for the discretion, the judgment, and the mistreatment, right, of the people who are misleaders, misguiders, who misunderstand, okay, who miss the point, who are going to abuse their children. Certainly obviously this is a very straightforward, listen carefully, it's a straightforward scale. Those who aren't smart enough to know that to end this madness for their family to the best of their ability, okay, and to leave this thing regardless of how mistreated or ill-treated their family is after they're gone as a result of their actions, is the right thing to do. Because these people are going to serve ill anyway. They should be disciplined and punished for doing the wrong thing anyway. So it's a simple matter of do the right thing and try to take as many of them as you can with you, or submit to an ill world of sexual sadists, pedophiles, geeks, betas, nerds, weirdo scientists, mad scientists, just weird, sexually immoral. They're like the geeks on the internet that try to find a way to sextort and to force women to give them naked pictures, have cam sex, phone sex, meet up for sex. These are the weird sickos who are purely despised by God. And it's a no-brain decision to obey the last martial artist and to leave with him instead of to subject your family to generations of immorality. And the least you can do is stop having sex yourself or stop reproducing yourself and obey, so that at least it's not coming from your body, because your children and their descendants also testify against you. How did they get there and why? Okay?